Listen, players win games. Really proud of our guys' effort today. They made the plays throughout the game and down the stretch. And like games like this, it's a players' game. Players win games. So I think we got tremendous respect for this Illinois team, and came in knowing obviously they were coming off a tough loss, but tremendous respect for them. They're really talented and well coached. So it's obviously a win that we feel proud of and excited about. Thought that we had a number of guys step up. Everybody who played in the game made great contributions. So it was good, and we'll come back tomorrow and clean some things up and try to get ready for Purdue on Tuesday.
All righty, we'll lead it off with Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep. Hear you now, Stephen.
Okay, cool. Hey, Coach, can you just talk about, the development and growth you've seen out of Zed Key? I know this was probably the game you guys probably leaned on him a little bit more just because of what Illinois' personnel is with Kofi. Can you just talk about his development over this season?
Sure, Stephen. Yeah, he continues to get better. He's got a great attitude, great approach. He is a young man he's a big body. He's you can say a little bit undersized, but what he has is great length and terrific hands. And he's a smart kid, so he's got good awareness out there on the floor. And he's got really good touch in the low block. So I thought he played really well for us. Gave us a physical presence. He's naturally a physical kid. That's why we recruited him, because we liked his physicality, his ability to catch the ball, and his long arms. All those make him I think he has a chance to be a really good player.
Thanks.
All right, we'll go next to Tony Gerdeman, Buckeye Scoop.
Chris, after the last game, you said that was the most proud you've been of your team this season. We've seen this kind of game before where the home team overwhelms the road team at the comeback. I'm wondering, do you have a new number one game? I'm most proud of your team after this one?
I'm proud. I think proud in different ways. I was really proud of how we responded when Northwestern made that run, and I knew the challenge that they were going to present. Obviously, really proud of our guys being able to respond to their physicality in the second half, Tony, and make enough plays. We weren't perfect. We've still got some things, obviously a lot of things we've got to clean up, and I've got to help them. We've got to coach some things better, but overall, yeah, this is a tremendous team in the sense that you've seen what they've done, Tony, to other teams when they've been down, and they've been down in a lot of games and they've won almost all of them. They just can overwhelm you with their length, their athleticism, their size, and obviously they've got, I think, the best transition guard in the country. I think he's the best one or two guards in the country in Io. So, but they're more than that. So they can overwhelm you, and being able to do that here, given the fact it's different, but still being able to do that home, road, neutral, you got to be proud of our guys.
All righty, we'll go next to Clay Hall, WSYX.
Hey, Chris, is E.J. Liddell a green light three-point shooter now? And second part, the depth and balance of your team. You play 10 guys, 4 in double figures, and suing with 9. I mean, that's the kind of thing that can carry you, especially when you're shorthanded.
Yeah, it's interesting, Clay. We have talked about that this year with guys. I think what it says about our young men right now at this point is they've really embraced what each guy can bring to the team. And they've been able to come in and play effectively. Gene in limited minutes today did some great things defensively. Obviously, Seth. We have had to mix and match the lineup a lot just because we've had a season unlike any others with injuries, and they haven't been COVID injuries. But it's been unlike anything else we've had. But I think what we found out and what we kind of knew is that we were going to have some depth, and that the strength of our team could be our depth if our guys embrace the role and play it at a high level. And so far they've done that. And we'll see if we continue to do that. The guys bring different things. Michi's minutes were important tonight. So I think it's a real strength for you. As far as EJ, we just want EJ to stay aggressive. He's a very good mid-range shooter. The college line is longer than the 3-point line. He's still adjusting to that. He spent a great summer he got up. Ryan Peden and our staff did a tremendous job with him, and he's obviously a talented kid. But I think it's still an evolving thing for him shooting the ball from behind the line. But he's got the green light, mid-range, anytime he's open, and we wanted him to stay aggressive. And then also I thought he did some good things in a couple offensive rebound situations today.
One other quickie, he always plays well at Illinois or against Illinois.
Well, we've only played them a couple times in his short career here, but he is obviously it's his home state. He's a young man that has come back here, and obviously played well on senior night. We played them last year on senior night. You're right, Clay. He was fantastic. It was a big win for us because both teams were playing very well at that point heading into the NCAA tournament. And he kind of, I think that was a little bit of a breakout game for him.
All righty, next up, Adam Jardy, Columbus Dispatch.
Chris, during that final minute where they're pressuring you, you're trading free throws back and forth, that seemed like a moment where you really would use a CJ Walker. And I wonder what CJ was like in those huddles. Seth was talking about him being like a coach on the sidelines. But
Yeah.
What was CJ like in those huddles, and what was your team in general like in those huddles and those timeouts there?
Well, he can put these wins on his resume when he gets into coaching. Right now, he's 2-0 as an assistant coach for sure, and because he's coached the guys up. He's been extremely vocal, and I'll gladly give him these 2 wins so he can put them on his resume. He was really vocal, led the way in talking, and certainly, Adam, I think we missed his ball handling and his ability to get to spots. But Justice did some good things. I know he had 5 turnovers, but he did some good things. I think they wore us down a little bit with their pressure, he and Dwayne, but I thought maybe as much as anything, the key was a couple of those transition threes Justin hit against their press where we were able to throw over top.
And I wanted to ask you about one of those threes. I know we talked after the last game about the 3 that he hit when Northwestern cut it to 1. And this one, I think they had it down to 8, and Kofi gets fouled. They call the flagrant. He misses the free throws. He draws the charge. Justin hits the 3 at the next possession. How big of a moment was that? And are you continuing to grow in your just belief that Justin's going to make that shot for you when he gets it?
He's such a good shooter that when he has space, you don't want him to turn it down. And I think in general, we talk about we have kind of a saying, don't flinch. And when the other team, don't flinch, don't ever flinch. And I think that was a great example of him not flinching. They were making runs. They were playing well. But the reality is, Adam, is that was probably the best shot we were going to get on that possession, even though it was, transition and early in clock. I just don't know we're going to get a better look than Justin with the wide open 3. Really proud of him for stepping up, and he's a confident young man too. Between him and Dwayne, and you got some confident guys there.
All right, we got time for a couple more. We'll go to Patrick Murphy, 247.
Chris, EJ just told us that, he was disappointed with his offensive production, thought he did other good things on Wednesday, was happy with the win, but felt he could have contributed to make the margin a little bit more, and, really made that an emphasis today. What did you see him like after the game and maybe these last couple of days as he prepared for this one, coming off a rough shooting night, I guess?
Listen, guys, I think for each team plays guys differently, and their Northwestern's mobility and their trapping on side post-ups made it difficult for EJ in his length. Now, he played really well against them the first game. I think that combined with the fact that he's now at the top of the scouting report, just he and Dwayne. So he's not going to perform, it's too much to ask him to perform, elite offensively like he was today in every game. He's got to take good shots. He's got to stay aggressive. He's got to stay aggressive. Even if he misses some open looks, he's got to stay aggressive. And then he's got to find other ways when they take away something like side post-ups where he can impact the game. Rebounding, offensive rebounding, defensively. He's got to continue to grow in those areas of impacting the game in other ways. That's what good players do. And I thought he came back hungry. We talked a little bit after the game against the Northwestern, because honestly, I thought he let some of those missed shots affect him in ways that he shouldn't be affected by. It affected some other parts of his effort. And he's going to have nights like that. Just in this league, you're going to have nights where your best player, one of your best players, might struggle.
All righty, and we'll wrap it up with Colin Hass-Hill from 11.
You called this a work in progress earlier in the year. Where are you at that?
Yeah, Colin, I think, I think we're just still in the middle of it. The injuries have made us shuffle some things, and I certainly don't want to diminish the quality of this win or the quality of the Northwestern win, or the Rutgers wins. But I think that, it's a continual process for us. And, as we get some guys back from injury, now we're going to have to kind of figure things out from there. The thing in this league right now is if you get off of growing and getting better every day, you get beat. I feel like I'm talking to my team here, so I'm apologize for the enthusiasm. But if you come off that, you get beat, you lose. So the challenge is every day commit to that work in progress, because that's what we are. That's what we are. And that's what most teams are, but that's certainly what we are with some of our new pieces and young guys that are assuming new roles. So that we have to be firmly committed to that, because as soon as you take your sight off that, in this league, you're gonna get beat, and people are gonna say, "Why? How are they getting beat by that team?" Well, we took our eyes off of getting better in some cases. That's the challenge for us, to continue to do that. And I think if our group has that mindset, then it will give us our chance to be better, or be our best at least. I thought we did that, a good job of that in February and March of last year. That's why we were playing well. Hopefully we can continue to move forward. But this is a fun group to coach because they've had that mindset so far, Colin.
Thank you.
I can go maybe one or two more if anybody has ones. One or two more
Sure.
quick ones.
Yeah, sure. We'll go, real quick, we'll go to Steve Hellwagon.
Yeah, Coach. Glad to have a chance to ask this. Your plan against Kofi Coburn, he and DeSumo both only had 4 points in the first half. It was probably one of your better halves defensively of the season, I would think, the way that you held them. But it seemed to really frustrate him, the doubles that just kept coming. And I don't know, maybe talk about what you were hoping to do. And I know it probably changes when Zed comes in as opposed to what you might do with Kyle or EJ. But just what were you guys able to do to kind of keep him under wraps for the first 30 minutes or so?
We're trying to make him score the ball in crowds as much as possible, Steve. And, when they come to our place, I'm sure they're going to have an attack that's going to counter that, and we'll have to respond. But I think that was as much as anything, is try to make him score in crowds and see bodies as much as possible, and try to challenge their shooting when it got kicked out. But I thought we gave him a couple over the top dunks that bothered us, but I thought our guys were pretty quick to him on his catch, because he catches it so deep, Steve. Sometimes it's hard to get a body to him. And he's a young player, so just like EJ for us is still learning to play through some of those traps. I think he's still learning, and I know he'll continue to get better at it. They do a great job getting him deep post ups, but that was as much as anything. Can he play in crowds?
Thanks.
Force him to play in crowds.
All right, and we'll wrap it up with Bruce Hooley. Bruce?
Chris, you mentioned that you can't flinch did you ever feel in the second half like you did, or was it a situation where one of Arn's 2 threes or Seth Town's 3-point play, was there a point where you were worried that you were flinching?
I thought technically, Bruce, as much as anything, we just weren't as ball strong as we needed to be. And I didn't think, and then I thought defensively, we had a couple errors that got to us. But I did not think, and then I thought a little bit early in the second half, collectively, like I didn't see the body language be what we wanted it to be. But overall, I thought our guys played with the aggressiveness and assertiveness that you have to play against a really good team that's climbing back in the game. And don't flinch is an important thing. It just stay committed to what we're doing. Don't flinch. Play with an assertiveness and aggressiveness. We didn't always do that, Bruce, on either end, but we did it enough.
You discussed with Colin the process that you want your team to undertake. I know there's a tendency to say, I'll take a win any way I can get it. But in terms of accomplishing that process, is it useful in the aftermath to have won this one like it unfolded today, where you hit 8 for 8 from the line the last 30 seconds and all those kinds of things, as opposed to if you'd have just held your halftime lead or maintained most of that?
Yeah, no, I think there's real value in that. I do think there's real value in that because Illinois plays with great competitive spirit. So you knew you were going to get tested physically and mentally because of how they play. So I think to have that and go through that, we missed some critical free throws. We responded by making some late. I think that is a good thing for our group.